Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. Today I thought I'd talk about 3 life-changing tools that I didn't do in my 20s but I now do in my 30s. I thought I'd just mention these. There are only 3 things. I do plenty more. There's plenty of lifestyle changes that I've made, but these 3 things are quite simple to incorporate. There's loads of benefits. It's one of those things like, you know, when you say, what did I need to know? What did my younger self need to know? What did I wish I'd started sooner? All that kind of stuff. So plant those seeds, let you know the benefits, let you know how to get started, and I hope you get something from the video. Number 1 is journaling. So journaling has absolutely changed my life. I've only been journaling for about 3 years, and it's something that I just wish that I'd started sooner. Why wasn't I journaling when I was a kid? Just been carried this on through my life. When I was a kid, I actually had a weird fear that what if I died and someone was reading all my stuff? I don't know why, but anyway. So it stopped me from doing this. I've since found it in way much later life, 3 years ago. And it's just, yeah, it's been an absolute game changer. It helps you kind of make sense of your thoughts, make sense of your mind. It just gives you a sense of kind of clarity. So what I tend to do is I do have different journals, but I have like a main one that I just kind of sketch anything in. I know there is different journaling techniques, and you can kind of put subheadings of like asking yourself a question. Might have mentioned before actually, a good one is like, what does my soul want to tell me today? That kind of thing. Or when recently, actually, when I was stopping cannabis, only fairly recently, I was journaling on this, and it did really help. I kind of put in there, what is it I'm holding myself back from that I'm choosing this instead, and why is it that I'm choosing this? You know, those type of questions. What am I choosing this over, or what emotion am I having this instead of feeling, that kind of thing. And it did really help work through some of that. But generally it's not even for anything like that. Generally I just write down whatever is there. So whether you've been feeling maybe a bit of a loss, or maybe a bit of anger, but it doesn't even have to be that. It might just be some inspiration. When we're writing it down, it puts it into our subconscious, that one extra layer. So if we're watching something educational or listening to something educational, we want to be making notes of that. That sinks it into the subconscious, that one extra layer, so we're more likely to remember it. Even if we're not reading that back, we're more like it's already there because we've already gone through the process of writing that. It just helps, it helps us with a lot of clarity. It helps us kind of bring in our vision. Often I'll have like some inspiration of what direction I want to go in, whether that's with health, whether that's with business, whatever that might be. And you can kind of get it all out there, and you just, take it whichever way. I kind of do have different journals for, like whether it's some, something I'm watching or some live streams, that kind of thing that I'm getting particular support with, so I know where that is, or courses or books or something. And then I'll have the main journal, which kind of can be a bit of everything in there. And I do still keep them at the moment, just because sometimes it's good to look back over them and just see if the, whatever inspiration that was, you might have wrote something down that at the time you didn't end up remembering it or getting much from it, and then you go back to it a little bit later and you're like, oh yeah, that'd be good right now, good to do that right now. But generally, it helps us, give us clarity, it helps us work through. I think you just have to try it really to kind of understand the life-changing kind of properties that this has. But if you research kind of any successful person, they're gonna have this in their routine. So it's certainly something worth getting onto, and it's really simple to start doing. So just get an ordinary notepad and just write whenever you feel inspired. A great time. It's first thing in the morning, obviously, morning brain. It's always good after meditation, because whatever's come through, you might be able to jot that down. But just whenever you're inspired. Sometimes as well, you might even be journaling digitally on your phone. There is something within writing as well, but sometimes if you've got to get something out, or you've seen some inspiration, you're like, I don't want to forget that, just get it straight onto your phone. And let me know how you get on. Number 2 is mindfulness. Now, I'm not going to go on about this loads because I have mentioned it in a previous video recently, which I shall link right there, on meditation tips for beginners if you're just getting started. Meditation, again, is something that I've only been doing probably about 3 years, similar time to journaling. It came into my life, even though I was dipping my toe into it a little bit for maybe a good few years before that, maybe even 5 years before that. You know, you kind of hear of mindfulness, you might be trying the different apps. There was Headspace and there's all sorts now, and I was trying different ones, but I hadn't incorporated it into my routine. Now it's incorporated into my routine, that is when you really see the results. But just keep trying with it, like I've explained before. I do fall away from it. I'm not perfect with it. Right now I'm going through probably a time that it's been the most sporadic it's been in the 3 years, like the least consistency that it's been in the 3 years. And I do notice a difference. I notice a difference with, kind of maybe my self-discipline for the rest of the day. So that is something that I know that I always want to pull back, get back on track with, but it is something that's always there. I always advocate for it because of how much benefits I've seen from that. With this, it really helps us with kind of stress. It'll help us with our sleep. It just helps us to be calmer throughout the day, just more mindful, aware of our thoughts, less reactive to things. So I know I've mentioned it, I've harped on about it enough, but that one is really something to bring in. So check out my previous video that I'll link at the end too. Number 3 is audiobooks. So these have been an absolute game changer for me as well. In recent years, I've kind of self-diagnosed that I've got mild dyslexia. So not that I like attaching labels to anything, and often we can all have traits of something. Without needing that diagnosis or that label or whatever, but it just explained a lot to me, and this is why audiobooks were really a game changer to me, because I realised after hearing someone else mention about, finding out about dyslexia when they were an adult, and I looked into the traits and I thought, okay, that explains a lot. I'd had a lot of the symptoms there, and I thought that's why the books are saying sat on the shelf, or they're saying sat there next to my bed and they're not getting read. I wanted the information in my head, but I just wasn't getting around to getting them read really. And then I came across audiobooks more recently, and just like, why have I not been doing this longer? And even though with audiobooks they do say they're not going into your brain quite the same as when you're actually reading them, and obviously it's not as easy to kind of like skip back if if you wanted to go over something. So if it is a book that I do think's really beneficial, I'll then buy the hard copy as well. So it's double the cost essentially that way, but sometimes I'll do that as well. But I just feel that this is a really good way to get a little bit of the information. We don't always have to read or listen to a book cover to cover to get some useful information from it. And I just find this way that, say you're on a commute, or, when we may be doing other things, we've got busy lives at the moment. It's just a really useful way of getting in some great information. There's lots of amazing books out there at the moment, and that'd be great actually to make another video on some of my most life-changing or favourite books that I could recommend, some audiobooks as well. Highly recommend getting that somewhere into your routine. What it does, I know it's somebody else's truth and all of that, but what I do believe is it really helps us to uncover our truth as well. It helps us to remember a lot of our inner wisdom. I tend to read non-fiction. I can't remember when I last read a fiction, to be honest, so that's just kind of preference. I'm more into the self-development types of books, and that's why I talk about a lot of this kind of self-development on this channel. It's what I'm interested in, it's what I'm passionate about. We can all be passionate about improving ourselves, because who doesn't want to improve themselves? So I just think it's something really good to be into and to get onto if you don't do it already. I got totally thrown off at the end of the video then. I've been struggling to end these videos recently anyway. I don't know if you've noticed, I've been rushing at the end, getting all awkward. So anyway, I wasn't redoing that whole part just for that. So I hope you got something out of the video, and I hope to see you in the next one. As ever, sending you all much love.